This is week 1 with tag number 9616. On day 2, I had a professional photographer come out to take pictures of our first session together, and I ended up getting the tag removed, so tag number 9616 is now officially known as Catori. The beginning of the week was a lot of advance and retreat work, getting Catori catchable, and then we worked on some work outside of the pen, getting her comfortable, leaving her safe areas. She did really well for her first time. She wasn't super pushy or nervous. She just wanted to look around, and then she kind of stuck right by me. Here she got nervous with the trailer, but quickly got over her fears and walked past. Here she got a little bit rushy and tried to take off, so I just bumped the rope a couple times, keep her calm, and keep moving. Here she gets a little bit nervous walking away from her pen, so I just give her a minute and then keep trying. We walked around for a few minutes before I gave her a break. Once we got back to work, I started working with her legs. I just rubbed my hand down them and then put light pressure. I will reward any movement from the leg I'm working on. A few times in the video you'll see me bop her nose, and that's just because she's trying to bite me. So I'm trying to not let that become a vice in the future when she's older. Here I got that leg up, so I immediately released and moved to the other side. And here I got that other front leg up too. This little mare is so friendly, I can't believe she was wild 2 days before this video. After a short break, we got back to working on feet, and I just did the same thing. I rubbed my hand down and then put light pressure until I got a reaction from those legs, and she picked it up very nicely there, so I released, and then I asked again and released. This was my first attempt at a back foot, and she was so good at it. She didn't try any kicking, didn't have a huge reaction, just picked it up like she would if she'd been doing it for years, which I was super happy with. And then I asked for the other front, and she was good. And then we moved to the other back. This back foot was even better than the other one, so I was super happy with this and decided to give her a break. I untied her halter and gave her a couple minutes before starting another session. Then we worked on some basic leading. I did some tight turns and then some straightaways, just getting her to respond to that pressure. Here we took one step back and then a couple steps forward, and she really started to get the hang of it. I continued to do turns, push and pull, and then walked her up to me, made her stop, and then gave her a moment before I started brushing her, and she handled this really well too. She's overall a really calm mare. I just started to get some of that winter coat and dirt out. At first, she really didn't like her legs brushed, but she has slowly overcome that. Then I moved to a few different kinds of brushes. First was a mane comb. She seemed to really like this. I pulled out some dead hairs and got those knots out. She really didn't like her forelock being brushed, so I spent some time desensitizing her to the comb. Then I worked on getting her tail brushed out. I'll show a few clips, but throughout the next few days we kept working on the same things: catching, grooming, picking up feet, and walking outside of the pen. Here I'm just rubbing all over her body, touching vulnerable areas, getting her super comfortable with me. Then I threw a halter on and started working on the basics of lunging. She really didn't understand this at first. She wanted to be in my space and didn't want to leave. but she eventually started to get it. I worked on lunging for a few minutes, just getting some forward steps, and then I moved on. Here we are working on picking up feet, and again just putting light pressure on those legs until she gives into it, and that's when I release. I just keep trying until I get the result I'm looking for. Then we left the pen for the second time. Overall, she was handling herself really well. This was a long video, so I cut it short, but we kept working on this for a few minutes. I let her graze and walked to the fence line. And once she was super comfortable, we started working on trailer loading for the first time. I'm going to speed this video up because it was a lot of pressure and release, showing her the trailer and trying again. We did end up getting the 2 front feet in the trailer before ending the session. The next day I did some desensitizing to a saddle pad. I was super impressed with how she handled this. Here you'll see the wind get really bad, so I take a minute before trying again. And even with it being windy, you can see that she is super calm and handles the saddle pad really well. After the saddle pad, I worked on getting Catori's legs not so sensitive to other objects, so I rubbed a rope down each one and picked them up. After the ropes, I picked all of her feet up with just my hands. And then we did some tight circles. Towards the end of the week, I started working with Catori on a drag rope, which basically the purpose of this is to have her step on it, feel the pressure, and then have to figure out how to get away from that pressure. The point of this is if she were to get in a bad situation where she got tied up, she wouldn't freak out because she would be used to the strong pressure and she would know how to get out of the situation. Right here, she steps on the rope and shows me exactly what I'm looking for. She steps back and has learned now that if she gets off the rope, the pressure will release. And then she knows to stay away from that rope. It got dark fast, so I didn't get a lot of footage of this, but it only took a couple tries before she stopped stepping on the rope. Some exploring outside of her pen. And then I got Catori's bridle path cut. She was super good for it, it just took a couple tries and a little bit of moving around. Then I got her feet picked out for the first time. That finishes up week 1. Stay tuned for our next update.